Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the heart of Japanese baseball, unpacking the stories that make NPB so endlessly fascinating. Today we're talking about a bombshell that's just dropped in the Yokohama DeNA BayStars camp, one that's got fans from Kawasaki to Kamakura holding their breath. On 12 November 2025, as the FA declaration window slammed shut, two of the team's most cherished warriors, outfielder Masayuki Kuwahara, better known to us all as the indomitable Hama Gutsman, and the rock-solid catcher Hikaru, have both exercised their overseas free agent rights. It's a move that feels equal parts bold and bittersweet, especially coming off a season where DeNA pushed all the way to the Japan series, but fell just short of glory. So let's settle in, because over the next 10 minutes, we're going to trace their journeys, dissect what this means for their futures, and explore the seismic shifts it could trigger for the BayStars. Grab your favorite Yokohama blue, and let's get into it. First off, a quick primer for anyone new to the NPB off-season dance. Exercising overseas FA rights isn't quite the same as the domestic version. It's a special provision for players who've racked up enough service time, 8 years in this case, that lets them test the MLB waters without burning bridges back home. They can negotiate with any of the 30 big league clubs, but crucially, they retain the option to stay in Japan or even shift to another NPB team if the dollars don't dazzle. For Kuwahara and Ito, who've been the heartbeat of DeNA's recent resurgence, this isn't just paperwork. It's a declaration of agency after years of pouring everything into the black and turquoise. And make no mistake, these aren't fringe players. They're the guys who embody the grit and guts that define Yokohama baseball. Let's start with Masayuki Kuwahara, the man they call Hama Gutsman, a nickname that's as much poetry as it is tribute. Picture this, a 174-centimeter fireplug of an outfielder, born in 1993 in Fukuchiyama, who grew up idolizing the likes of Ichiro Suzuki and dreaming of pinstripes that weren't just metaphorical. Drafted in the 4th round out of Fukuchiyama Seibi High in 2011, Kuwahara didn't explode onto the scene like some prodigy, he carved his way in. Debut season in 2012 yielding just a handful of at-bats. But oh, what a trajectory it's been since. Over 14 seasons with DeNA, he's blossomed into the ultimate utility knife, a leadoff spark plug with a career batting average hovering around .265, 68 home runs, and nearly 300 RBIs through the 2024 campaign. He's got that rare blend of speed and savvy, stealing bases like they're going out of style and patrolling center field with a kind of range that turns sure doubles into outs. But it's 2025 that cements his legend, doesn't it? Entering the year on the final leg of a 4-year deal inked back in 2022, Kuwahara wasn't just playing, he was performing like a man possessed. A .278 average, 12 homers, and a league-leading on-base percentage that had him walking more than he struck out. It was vintage Hama Gutsman, all hustle and heart. Then came the playoffs, where he flipped the script on everyone. In the Climax Series, he was a pest, drawing walks and igniting rallies, but it was the Japan Series against the Hawks where he ascended to immortality. Named MVP after a 5-game clinic, think 3 homers, a dozen RBIs, and that iconic diving catch in Game 4 that saved a shutout, Kuwahara didn't just carry DeNA, he embodied their never-say-die ethos. Fans started chanting Hama Gutsman louder than ever, a nod to his beachside Yokohama roots and that unyielding, gut-wrenching determination. So why FA now? At 32, with prime year still ahead, it's not about desperation. Sources close to the club whisper it's a negotiating ploy, a way to leverage that series glow into a lucrative extension. But let's be real. MLB scouts have been whispering his name for years, eyeing his contact skills and plate discipline as a perfect fit for a league that rewards patience. Could we see him in, say, Seattle, chasing Ichiro's shadow? Or Pittsburgh, where his speed could thrive in spacious PNC Park? It's tantalizing, but deep down, I suspect his heart's still in Yokohama, where the fans roar his name like family. Shifting gears to the other half of this dynamic pair, Hikaru Ito, the catcher who's been calling games since most of us were still figuring out our own swings. Born in 1989 in Okazaki, Aichi, Ito's path to stardom was anything but linear. 3rd-round pick by the Oryx Buffaloes in 2007 out of Meitoku Gijuku High, he spent his rookie year in the Western League, honing that glove like a blacksmith tempers steel. By 1909, he was up with the big club, but it was a journeyman's grind. Solid defense, modest bat, bouncing between starter and backup for a decade in Osaka. Career stats through 2024, a .238 average, 45 homers, but it's the intangibles that shine. Over 1,200 games caught, a cannon arm that's nabbed 28% of base thieves, and a reputation as the ultimate clubhouse anchor. Traded to DeNA in 2018 for a song, essentially a prospect swap, Ito didn't sulk, he thrived, becoming the yin to Kuwahara's yang. Fast forward to 2025, his 18th season, and at 36, you'd forgive a dip in velocity or focus. Instead, he delivered one of his finest hours, batting .252 with 8 dingers and 45 RBIs. He was steady as ever, but behind the plate, masterful. He orchestrated a pitching staff that led the league in ERA during the regular season, framing borderline pitches like an artist, and managing a rotation that included flamethrowers and finesse guys with equal poise. In the postseason, his fingerprints were everywhere. That perfect throw to nail a runner in Game 3 of the final stage, or the way he settled a rattled young starter in the series opener. He's not the flashiest. He's the foundation. The guy who blocks wild ones in the dirt and whispers adjustments that turn good pitchers into great ones. Exercising FA at this stage feels like a veteran's chess move. MLB? Catchers his age rarely cross over successfully. Think modest deals with teams like the Royals or Nationals where his experience could mentor a green staff. But honestly, his body's telling a story of mileage. I see him eyeing a multi-year CACT back in NPB, perhaps even a player-coach role with DeNA, passing the torch while squeezing every last yen from his leverage. After 18 years, it's less about reinvention, more about legacy. How do you cap a career that's been all about quiet excellence? Now let's zoom out and talk about the elephant in the clubhouse. What does this double declaration do to DeNA? The BayStars aren't just any team. They're the scrappy underdogs who've clawed their way from mid-table mediocrity to pennant favorites, thanks in no small part to these two. Lose Kuwahara and your leadoff spot becomes a black hole. Who's got that on-base magic to set the table for stars like Ozuna or Palacios? The farm system's got promise in guys like Kametsuro, but they're green. It'd be a step back in a division stacked with SoftBank's firepower and Latte's speed. Ito's departure? That's a catcher carousel nightmare. DeNA's depth chart has Yamashita as a capable backup, but elevating him full-time risks exposing an inexperienced glove to Central League sluggers. Financially, the club has room. They're not the cash-flush giants, but reallocating funds to plug these holes could mean skimping on international signings or bullpen reinforcements. And let's not forget the emotional toll. Hama Gutsman is DeNA's soul, the everyman hero who rallies crowds at Yokohama Stadium. Ito's the sage, the one who steadies the ship in September skids. Their exits, even temporary, could fracture that chemistry that propelled a 2025 campaign with 82 wins and a series berth. General Manager Shibui has got his work cut out. Expect aggressive pursuits of domestic FAs like Nishida from SoftBank, or even a reunion push with these two, sweetened with opt-outs and incentives. Peering into the crystal ball, the scenarios branch like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. For Kuwahara, the optimistic path is a bridge deal in MLB. 1 year, $5 million with the Mariners or Padres, proving he can hack it stateside before a hero's return to Yokohama on a 5-year front-loaded monster. Pessimistically, if bids stall, he slides to a rival like the Swallows, igniting a Central League arms race. Ito's arc feels more grounded, a 2-year extension with DeNA at 150 million yen annually, mentoring the next wave while played tuning on offense. Or if ambition flares, a lateral move to the Dragons for a starting gig in a farewell tour. The wild card, both circling back by December, using FA as a velvet hammer for better terms. In an era where loyalty's currency is eroding, look at the parade of stars flipping teams yearly, these moves remind us NPB still got that family vibe, where players like these weigh legacy over loot. As we wrap this up, it's hard not to feel a pang for what DeNA has built and what might slip away. Kuwahara and Ito aren't just exercising rights. They're reminding us that even in the unyielding grind of pro ball, there's room for choice, for dreaming bigger. Whether they chase sunsets in California or anchor the BayStars' bow for another title run, their stories are far from over. What do you reckon, folks? MLB adventures or Yokohama forever? Sound off below, smash that subscribe for more NPB deep dives, and I'll catch you next time when we unpack the next twist in this wild offseason. Thanks for watching, and remember, in baseball, guts always trump glamour. Stay passionate.